The notion that Mary Brown and Janelle Brown changed their names following their divorces from Kody Brown isn't entirely surprising, given all the changes that have been occurring for the Brown family on sister wives. Both Mary and Janelle have moved on from their relationship with Kody and are now living far apart from him and his surviving wife, Robyn Brown. Both appear to have adapted to life after polygamy, as does Christine Brown Woolley, Kody's third wife, who divorced him in 2021 and remarried David Woolley in 2023. After a marriage ends, it's common for people to go back to their maiden name. It's a little more complicated in the case of sister wives because there are a lot of children and a lot of history. The legal marriage component adds to the complexity. In order to legally marry Robyn and adopt her 3 children from a previous marriage, Kody and Mary divorced in 2014 after being legally married in 1990. Despite their formal divorce, Kody and Mary were theoretically still spiritually married. Despite never being formally wed, Janelle and Christine both adopted the Brown last name. Difficult, huh? Janelle and Mary don't want to be associated with Kody. Janelle and Mary have moved on. There was a chain reaction of wives quitting once Christine left Kody due to Kody's apparent preference for Robyn. Mary, Christine, and Janelle felt stuck in their marriages. But since it's uncommon in polygamous families, and the family has a lengthy history, they didn't consider leaving. They stated that they were taking that risk to demonstrate that a true polygamous relationship could be wholesome and enduring when they first went public by appearing on a reality show. The epidemic was one of several causes that led to Kody's marriages failing Mary. And Janelle quickly followed Christine's departure, though Kody most likely didn't anticipate all the divorces. Mary and Janelle's decision to leave Kody and pursue their own happiness was made possible by Christine. In order to manage Liz's heritage in her bed and breakfast, Mary relocated to Paran, Utah, together with her daughter, Madison. Brush Janelle relocated to North Carolina and purchased a piece of land. Tata Farms is now being opened by the two, the family's 2018 acquisition of Coyote Pass. A piece of land was just sold, and Mary and Janelle received a just share of the proceeds, ending the last connection to Kody. The past spouses were getting irritated with Kody because he was taking too long to do anything with Coyote Pass. They just wanted to break off all contact with Kody and move on. There aren't really any connections between Janelle and Mary and Kody. Now that the deal is complete and they have received their money, have Janelle and Mary said they would change their last names. Both of them have stated that they will not change their names. Mary, whose maiden name is Barbara, has stated that she has no intention of changing her last name. Mary joked about adopting her great-great-grandmother's maiden name Davenport in a 2024 Sister Wives episode. But for the time being, she's sticking with Brown. She has declared that if she ever gets married again, she will alter her name. We've talked about it a lot. It's like, okay, I am connected to Kody Brown by having his last name, but at the same time, that's all anybody knows me as. That's all I know myself as for the past 34 years. I definitely wouldn't ever change it back to my maiden name. That would be weird for me. I only had that for 19 years. This one I've had for 34, so it would be weird on that level. In early 2025, Janelle and Christine discussed altering their last names during an appearance on the Rogue Energy podcast. Janelle stated that she intends to remain a Brown, as her children are Browns. While Christine described the difficulties of changing one's name, Janelle added that she had no intention of getting married again, meaning she will always be a Brown. It is a pain in the butt to change your name when you're older, by the way. Oh my gosh, it's a pain in the butt when you're older. It takes so long. There's still some things. I'm Christine Brownin. I've got to get it changed over. Mary and Janelle's last names have a role in their success and identity. Both rose to prominence using the Brown name with the last name. Brown Mary and Janelle both rose to fame. The name had a significant role in their identities for a long time. It gave each youngster a name and brought them together as a family. For the record, Christine still goes by Christine Brown Woolley on Instagram, using Brown as part of her name, whether this is her legal name or merely the one she uses on social media. It's unclear, but it's obvious that Christine has been told to keep Brown. It serves as both a means of identifying her and a link between her and her children. What would happen if they changed their names from the standpoint of the brand? It may be challenging. The most well-known people with the last name Brown are Christine, Mary Janelle, and even Cody and Robyn. The most frequent name for Christine is still Christine Brown, despite the fact that she has changed her name. The same is true for the married Brown children. Legally, they may have changed their names, but to many, they will always be Browns. The problem with Mary and Janelle's last name change is that it might harm their brand. It might make more sense to keep Brown in their name somewhere, even if it's in the middle, so that viewers can quickly recognize them if they're considering their careers outside of the show. This is because they may have projects and opportunities that arise because of their affiliation with sister wives and the Brown family. It could be preferable for them to maintain the name if they take away the symbolism and acknowledge that they are merely Browns in name $219.99. Walmart rug in cowboy-themed living room. Cody and Robyn's taste is well odd. The living area of Cody and Robyn Brown's previous Flagstaff house has a Western flavor, suggesting that the sister wives stars enjoy Western-themed design. They also live a wealthy lifestyle. Cody may have always liked country decor and taste because he wears a David Yurman ring with a wild stallion image. Robyn's ring is identical to his. Even though many Redditors think the couple's taste is appallingly awful, Cody and Robyn did at least come up with a unified concept. Spending time in that living room must have been enjoyable for them. Cody and Robyn have faced off in a number of Wild West confrontations on Sister Wives Season 19. The destiny of Coyote Pass has caused them to become embroiled with Cody's ex-partners, as well as Robyn's former sister wives. Cody sold the land for $1.5 million, and he and Janelle and Mary Brown split the money. Christine Brown rode off into the sunset, bound to meet her true love, David Woolley. But the occasionally grumpy Cody still harbors feelings for her. Cody frequently wears the black hat because despite his obvious love for Robyn, he is shockingly uneasy with the knowledge that 3 women have left him. Cody and Robyn's house has diverse accents. Is this room tasteful? Everybody has different tastes. For example, some individuals love minimalist design, which consists of streamlined, clutter-free spaces with contemporary furniture and accessories. Robyn and Cody most certainly do not fit that description. In actuality, they are maximalists who cram every room to the brim. A Walmart area rug with a Lone Star theme can be seen in the image above, which was shared by Reddit user MindNuggetGoat. It conveys a sense of Texas's tough and independent nature. If fans are ready to pay $219.99, they can also own the rug. It evokes images of line-dancing cowboy hats and delectable text food. This rug serves as the focal point of the room's design and adds the whimsical touch that is essential to completing a themed space. As the leather or ngahide sofas are so heavy, the rug's pattern, which includes some lighter hues, helps to break up some of that visual heaviness. That being said, it is unlikely that Architectural Digest will soon publish this questionable but not particularly horrible example of interior design. Unfortunately, it's a room that people ridicule. Robyn and Cody display their interest at home. Not all fans offer compliments. Perhaps the lower mid-range hotel concept is too prevalent. Some folks may simply not react well to country style. Fans aren't happy with their old living room in Flagstaff, Arizona, or the way the two decorated the other rooms for whatever reason. This is a little example of the shade they receive in the previously stated Reddit discussion. No, I saw that the furniture was wrapped around the walls in every area. There is furniture against every wall. It resembles a house from the Sims video game. Google it if you haven't played it before. You really receive points for your decor, and the tackier, the better it looks. But it's quite tempting to go carried away decorating every nook and corner. They also have a ton of strange furniture and themes. The entire place appears to be artificial intelligence. Cody may have seen Pale Rider Clint Eastwood played the quiet figure known as Preacher in that iconic Western. However, Cody could favor more recent but equally rustic entertainment options. Such the popular Netflix series Yellowstone Robyn may enjoy country music such as the well-known song Jesus Take the Wheel by Carrie Underwood. View the Reddit thread above for images of their house, except for what they decide to depict on film. And that's a lot. Their inner lives are still a mystery. Even though Robyn's core family has shared and maybe overshared many times, there is still some mystery surrounding their way of life. The fact that their home's decor gives further hints about their true identities is what makes it so entertaining to observe people's personal choices frequently reflect their personality. The living room above is really one of the more streamlined areas in Cody and Robyn's house, which is full of surprises. Other spaces are overflowing with objects that might hold sentimental and symbolic significance. Cody, for instance, has a collection of Star Wars dolls, some of which are Transformers. The patriarch's affection for showing off and playing with his Millennium Falcon model, and robots in disguise. Transformers is charming. Robyn has 70,000 dolls of American Girl all done up in a dazzling fashion hidden away in her house. Even the clothing zippers are gorgeously beaded, and some of the doll dresses are custom designed. The only real problem is that fans tend to believe the two lead better lives than the other Brown women, which feeds a lot of the criticism. Other than that, it's all a lot of fun. Janelle left the marriage with very little money, which was a terrible result for a lady who had spent so much time and effort supporting the family. Although Christine and Mary don't appear to be hard up, it would be reasonable and natural for them to harbor grievances over the way the family funds were used. Cody apparently withheld the majority of what is important in his spiritual partnerships with his ex-partners, including time money, physical intimacy, and love. With each passing year, the women became more isolated and irate. They created opportunities for new lives by separating from a man who didn't truly care about them as he should have. For Robyn, Cody will stop at nothing. She has stated that she enjoys spending money to improve her quality of life. At times, it appears that he would like to conserve money. With the exception of Cody's treasures, it's probable that Robyn's selections are present in their house. Perhaps Robyn picked the royal bedroom with its deep purple hues, or the Flintstone sink encircled by Sedona's most ethereal amethysts. Despite their issues, Robyn and Cody continue to truck. What else are people able to do? The loss of Garrison Brown has left them in mourning. Nothing can alter it. It's the most heartbreaking thing that a parent will never get over. Therefore, it doesn't matter what Redditors think, as long as they choose decor that makes them happy. It's commonly assumed that Cody doesn't hold the women that left him in high regard. He did, however, recently make it easier for them to afford the small pleasures in life. He gave Cody a bigger portion of the Coyote Pass land, for instance, when he redivisioned it. Thus, $35,000 was given to Mary and Janelle separately. That sum of money might change those women's lives. Kody Brown of Sister Wives might have acted in a gentlemanly manner, but it's possible that he was scared of being sued by Mary and Janelle, who didn't trust him to not take advantage of them. In the end, his actions speak for him. Thus, what he did was a good thing, regardless of his reasoning. He and Robyn own a lovely $2 million home in Flagstaff. That is a new showplace. It's nice that he gave back to the women that supported him for decades, because he has so much. The personal development of two significant characters. Mary and Janelle continues to pique curiosity and inspire affection, despite the broad changes that are changing the previously closely knit dynamic of the Sister Wives family. Since they parted ways with their old spiritual partner Cody, their lives have taken somewhat different paths. The discussion about possibly giving up the common last name that once stood for togetherness has inevitably come up as they start over, far away from the shadows of their previous relationships. Both ladies have discovered strength and comfort in their new lives, which they are now managing on their own. They no longer live in the same emotional and physical settings as the family they were formerly a part of. Having detached themselves from the demands of multiple marriage several years ago, Christine bravely decided to leave the patriarchal figure in the family, and she continues to inspire others with her example of transformation. Her subsequent marriage to David Woolley became a daring statement that second chances and happiness are earned rather than just possible. Reverting to one's former surname is a typical practice among people seeking to recover their premarital identities in the context of divorce. However, the circumstances are even more complex for Mary and Janelle. This is about more than simply a name. It's about recognition, legacy, emotional connections, and personal branding. They haven't just kept their last name because it's Cody's. It's the one that has supported them across decades of co-parenting, public scrutiny, and the challenging world of broadcast polygamy. According to official documents, Mary and Cody were legally married decades ago after getting married in a traditional marriage. But in order for Kody to formally get into a new relationship with Robyn and adopt her children, that bond was legally broken. Nevertheless, Mary maintained a connection with him that persisted long after their legal partnership ended, which they characterized as a spiritual commitment. Despite never being legally obligated to Kody Janelle and Christine, both took on the family's last name as a sign of their emotional end. Following Christine's departure, a profound change took place. The wives started to reimagine life on their own terms, no longer shielded by mutual devotion to a single home vision or shared customs. Long a source of silent annoyance, Kody's preferential treatment of Robyn ultimately caused the other ladies to feel alienated from one another. However, Christine was the one who initially opted for action over endurance. Her departure from the family was like the first wind that broke a long-standing impasse. Her bravery made room for the others. After years of emotional isolation, Mary moved to a quaint historic inn in Perot, Utah, and transformed it into a haven and a source of income. She established a life of modest dignity there, focusing her energies on entertaining and conserving family heritage. Ever pragmatic and enterprising, Janelle started a business that reflected her lifelong passion for sustainability and well-being. She purchased a plot of land in North Carolina, with her daughter setting the foundation for Tata Farms, an endeavor full of promise and meaning. The controversial piece of land known as Coyote Pass was one of the last things that bound them to their common history. The property, which had been bought with a lot of hope years earlier, had come to represent dissatisfaction and inaction. The plans to build it did not materialize for years, which only made the women's desire to formally cut off any lingering ties stronger. The land was eventually sold after a lengthy delay. Mary and Janelle felt a feeling of closure and financial independence after the proceeds were equitably distributed. It was the last stamp applied to a chapter that had already come to an emotional end. There have been several inquiries about whether they might give up the Brown last name. Both ladies, though, have publicly acknowledged their hesitancy, and with good reason. In an open discussion that aired in a more current season of the show, Mary considered her name with a remarkable degree of vulnerability. She acknowledged that the name Brown had become an integral part of who she was, even if she had joked about taking on an ancestral surname for flair. She talked about how it symbolized more than 30 years of her life, a life full of growth lessons and obstacles. Reverting to her birth surname, she acknowledged, seemed strange, like putting on a garment from a bygone period. She claimed to have gone by Brown for a far longer period of time than any other moniker. It had defined her in the public eye for better or worse. The name's symbolic significance persisted, even if the emotional bond with Kody had long since faded. It was the moniker given to her commercial endeavors, her public image, and the legacy she had established in front of millions of people. The emotional fabric of family served as an equal foundation for Janelle's thinking. She approached the problem with realistic pragmatism when questioned on a podcast regarding the potential for a name change. Her main interest was her children, all of whom have the last name Brown. She talked about how she had no strong desire to change her identity because she never planned to be married again. For her, keeping the name meant keeping the link to her children, who were the most important people in her life. She believed that altering it would be like cutting off a family tie that still had deep significance. Additionally, both women recognized the emotional and practical toll that name changes. Take switching legal records, bank accounts, and official paperwork was a laborious process. As Christine herself mentioned in the same conversation, even though she had accepted her new married name online, she hadn't finished the process completely. For people who have dedicated their professional life to a particular name, the procedure is particularly difficult. And that leads us to still another important aspect: identification in the public eye. Mary and Janelle were well known as public personalities who gained not just individual but also Brown status as a result of the Sister Wives series. Audiences nationwide recognize them because of their connection to the family name. Their last name incorporates the brand they helped establish. Altering it can result in a temporary reduction in their visibility, which could have an effect on upcoming business endeavors or media chances. Christine still uses the Brown last name on social media, even though she now has a different last name in her personal life. This is a clever strategy to stay in touch with the fan base that initially welcomed her. And it's not just about nostalgia, it serves as a link between the past and present, enabling her to reinvent herself while maintaining a sense of identity that she has worked so hard to develop over the years. As a result, even though their emotional and relational bonds with Kody have broken down, the name still serves as an odd anchor, serving as a reminder of their past and perhaps a means of moving them on. Removing the name might not mean freedom to Mary and Janelle. Instead, it might run the danger of destroying a story they have been working on for decades. Then the question arises, can a name still be associated with a person, even if its original meaning is no longer relevant? The answer appears to be yes in their instance. Even though the surname may have come from a shared relationship, it evolved into something quite different over time. It turned into a banner under which people shaped their own forms of power, reared children, and shared their tales. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Get more updates daily.